Hello everybody and welcome to another video, The World According to Lonza. I am Andrew Lonza and thank you for watching my video. Well, today is a special day. It is May the 4th, or May the Force be with you, as they say. And since today's National Star Wars Day, I thought I'll give you my personal opinion on what I think is the best Star Wars movie and what I think is the worst Star Wars movie. My favorite Star Wars movie of all time is Rise of Skywalker from 2018. Kind of. Because as much as I got used to the original trilogy, it's I like how Rise of the Skywalker had a good epic ending of love, true love overcomes evil, and how like grandfather, um, you have Kylo Ren turning to the light side by the help of a lovely lady named Rey, a Jedi named Rey, who I thought had lots of training by Luke, went through hell and high waters mentally and physically and emotionally. But that's besides that's besides what I really want to say is that this might be a pun of a political statement, but or what you hear on the for a movement. But I think all Star Wars movies matter because just like this beautiful picture I got, you have 3 trilogies and you have 12 movies in all. You have the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and the sequel trilogy. And I think all of them are important. So I'm going to go, just for fun, through each one, do a little recap, and why I think all of them are important and fun. And you can be a Star Wars fan if you like all of them, or just one of them. Okay. So Star Wars Episode 1. Star Wars Episode 1 came out in 1999. And there's a lot of politics in it. It's kind of like, and there's a lot of setting up, world setting. It's a lot like putting out your chess board and putting the pieces together before you play the game. A cool speed race. There are some cheesy dialogues. A lot of people might not be too fond of the character Jar Jar Binks, but you know he has a little bit of a childhoodness into him, his storyline, but there's a cool Darth Maul story at the end, or there's a cool Darth Maul fight. Who's the first Sith, or one of the first Siths, who's the main bad guy. He's the apprentice of Darth Sidious and Palpatine. But anyways, so lots of world building, and a cool battle scene at the end with Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now we get to Star Wars Episode 2, which came out in 2002. And like again, it's kind of like a Romeo forbidden love. It's a Romeo and Juliet thing. And there's some cheesy dialogue in that one too. But there's a cool Yoda scene. and I suggest you check it out for the cool little scene. And then there's some Clone War stuff. Hint, the Clone Wars. Then in 2005, we get Revenge of the Sith. This is Titus. If you read this is Troy. This is the fall of Satan. Or a good guy who came back. Well, this is the fall of Anakin. A good person who turned bad, evil, you might want to say, twisted by the dark side. Gone. Anakin is. Or young Skywalker is. So, hardcore fight between ex-brothers, good friends. I recommend Star Wars Episode 3. In a lava fight. A little scary for kids. That movie might be a little scary for kids. Great music, though. The lightsaber battle is fantastic. Alright. Now, we have a little bit of a gap in between. So we have some fillers. So we go to Solo, Yeet Lung Solo, starring Amelia Clark, one of my favorite actresses. Amelia, is it her? I don't know. I forget his name. But there's a young actor out there. He's in Cocaine Bear now. I think he's in the Francis Ford Coppola film. I forget that name too. But, I should just read it. Adrian Hirsch. Good kid. Smart. And Solo. I would recommend Solo. That's the timeline. Fun, action-packed film. Has Woody Harrelson, Amelia Clark, Daniel Glover, Tatha Newton, Paul Bettany from A Beautiful Mind. Good film. Then, if you have some time, if you watch that, right after that, because that starts to set up the, you get to see the Millennium Falcon for the first time, and it goes flying through space, and there's some cool kind of like Star Wars drinking scenes, kind of like a Star Wars like gala, if you want, like a party, like there's a cool scene where they're all hanging out, and they were like at like the Oscars, and they're just drinking and doing crime. There's crime going on. Anyways, Solo. Then after that, on the timeline, I'm telling you, this is the Star Wars chronological order timeline, which after you've seen the original trilogy a few times, I think you need to watch the Star Wars in the chronicle order timeline. So then after that, the TV series Obi-Wan, which is pretty much part Star Wars Episode 3, Part 2. So a TV series, you get to see young Princess Leia, another battle with Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's pretty cool. And then after that, what a lot of people consider like the Game of Thrones, the political atmosphere of Star Wars. There's a TV show called Endor. It's good. It's slow. No lightsabers. None. You won't have too much lightsabers. But you have a lot of good dialogue. The dialogue is cleaner and crispier and lighter. It's like the first two seasons of Game of Thrones, but in the Star Wars universe. A lot of politics, not too much actions, no dragons, so don't worry about that. Because they don't do the multiverse in that. So Endor, which sets up for the next movie, it's called Rogue One. It's pretty much the Star Wars crawl from Star Wars Episode before A New Hope. Okay, it's the crawl. It's the crawl. It's the words that you see. And it's getting them, they're pretty much getting the plans for, so the Death Star, so they can have a hope to destroy the Death Star in the near future. Then we get to the 70s, 80s, and 83s. Then we get to 1977s and the 1980s and 83s trilogy, the original trilogy, which you guys, if you watch this channel, I'm sure you've seen the trilogy before. I'm assuming you've seen the trilogy before. If you haven't seen the original trilogy, I will start with that trilogy. So I'm going to say, yeah, the trilogy is pretty epic. It has what you call the hero story about a person who has to, the hero's arc, who comes from nowhere, a farm boy who overcomes adversity and has to leave his comfort zone and become a hero. The hero's journey, what George Lucas studied, a lot of mythology. You guys know it. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to go on too much about the original Star Wars movie. I think the ride at Disneyland, the first ride, Star Tours. If you go to Space Mountain, and not just the new Star Wars land, Galaxy's Edge, but if you really think about it, in Disneyland, there's two areas where you find Star Wars stuff. One, the original trilogy, in Tomorrowland. Two, a way awesome epicness of a land called Galaxy's Edge that opened up in summer, I believe, of 2019. So there's two lands in Disneyland. That's cool. It's cool. So you've seen a New Hope with a cool World War II style battle with TIE fighters. Epic. It still gets my heart pumping. It goes bump, 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 bump. Yo, clear, kid, and let's blow this thing and go home. God. Okay. One of the best space battles in cinematic history. Well done, George Lucas and his crew at International Light and Magic up in San Francisco. The company that made. Good job. Good documentary on Disney Plus to watch that too. Then you have Empire Strikes Back, which is like, good guys, you lose, you suck. Hey, all evil prevails, all shit hits the fan, and Empire Strikes Back, which is I'm going to watch tonight on Star Wars night. That's where you see Yoda for the first time, and that's where Lucas is training, and that's where there's some snow, and Han Solo says, "I know," to Princess Leia when she confessed that I love you, and lots of good stuff. Oh, that's a famous Luke, I am your father line. So that's 1980, the same year that Friday the 13th came out, and the same year that The Shining came out, and same year that Raging Bull came out, and et cetera, 1980. 1980 is when, in May, is when, but that's the first movie that wasn't directed by George Lucas. So, trivia, if you think all Star Wars movies 1 through 6 were directed by George Lucas, no. The sequels weren't, and the prequels were, the first Star Wars was, but if you count 1 through 9, only one movie. Or no, yeah, only one movie was. No, three, no, four. Only four movies. Episode 1 through 3, and New Hope were directed by George Lucas. So that's that. Then we get to the year that I was born, 1983, which is some of you are crazy because I'm not this minimal Zen head who likes all of the Star Wars movies. Even these, I love them too, because all of them matter. Then that's Return of the Jedi. Good year, 1983. It's also the year of Scarface. So Scarface and Return of the Jedi. Let's see. What else came out in 1983? Tom Cruise, Risky Business came out in 1983. So yeah, same year as old as Return of the Jedi. Okay, now we're skipping, or I already told about the prequels, so we're going to go all the way, and I already told about the end fillers. We're going to go all the way to Mandalorian. After the Return of the Jedi, if you watch Mandalorian, it takes place right after Return of the Jedi, which I still need to get caught up on. Alright, after Mandalorian, you have the Book of Boba Fett, which is, some people don't like it. I think it's all good, but I mean, it's not enough Boba Fett, from what the critics say. Not enough Boba Fett. And then you go fast forward, and yes, I do have these on Blu-ray because I think they're amazing films. In 2015, let me put these in order. In 2015, we have The Force Awakens, which stars Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill for a little bit, and Carrie Fisher. By the way, today is the day that Carrie Fisher finally got her star in the Walk of Fame by her daughter, Billie Lourd Fisher, I believe. And this is also, and this movie, these trilogies are what the Galaxy's Edge characters are based on. So if you've been to Galaxy's Edge, you see Rey, Poe, Finn, Kylo Ren, hashtag also Ben Solo, and then you see, and then this is where the controversy started. You see Luke here. Some people didn't like his portrayal of Luke, but I think it's more realistic. Hey, if an empire came back and you just did all that hard work trying to get rid of one empire, and it's like the world we live in today. World War II ends. World War II ends. Hitler's gone. But we still have tyrants, don't we? We had to go back to Iraq. We had to, not as big, but we had to do all these things. Get rid of Saddam Hussein. We have North Korea to worry about. We have Putin to worry about. So Hitler's gone. Hitler's dead. Gone. Over. So what I don't get is like, they're just doing the same thing over and over again. Blah, 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 blah. That's how the world works. Get some peace. Get some peace. Get some years of peace. But then evil empires spring up again. Like, hey, you take away the CEO of Walmart or Target or whoever, you take out that CEO. Does Target go down? If Jeff Bezos stepped down of Amazon, is Amazon deleted? No, I think not. So I think what Rian Johnson did was kind of brilliant because he made Luke more human. He didn't say, hey, he's always so gung-ho. I know there's a little bit of disagreement, and I know Mark Hamill had a hard time understanding that at first, but I think everyone's coming around. Oh, and this movie had a great with this dude, Adam Driver, Academy Award nominee, Adam Driver, and Daisy Ridley. Oh, that's some brave, good news, great news. We have a new Ray movie coming out. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not, Star Wars. I'm not Echo Base or any of these other channels. I'm a little bit more of whatever. Anyways, I'm not Star Wars Theory. I'm definitely not Mike Zero. So, anyways, look, and Carrie Fisher, I think she's his boss. She gets shit done. She gets shit done in this movie. She's like, I'm not taking no crap. I've been through it before. It's called leadership. And even Mark Hamill's a little bit depressed, but he finds his apprentice, Ray. And I like The Last Jedi, because they're supposed to, because Kylo Ren wants the Jedi to end because he's depressed. All right, next and but least, in 2019, we had Rise of Skywalker. Lots of we have zombiness in this. We have Shakespeareanness in this. I mean, this is a little bit. The story is a little bit up and down, but what it really comes to is we have a Skywalker and somebody who was adopted Skywalker join forces with all the past Jedi, and they bond together to destroy the Sith. And Luke still did it. People say Rey stole his thunder. She did not. He guided her hand. If you listen to the dialogue, he guided her hand. And this video has a lot of spoilers, but I'm assuming a lot of you have seen these movies already and already have your opinions on them. So I'm just gonna say what I think. I think, bottom line, all Star Wars movies are brilliant and awesome in their own way, with the prequels and the sequels having their flaws. There's definitely flaws. Dialogue can be flaws. A little bit of, are we going this way with a plot twist? Are we going this? I understand that the sequels were a little bit messy, and sometimes, like in The Last Jedi, you're like, I don't know what this casino scene means, and some of it is, could have maybe been explained a little bit more clearer and crisper, but they show it to you. But I think there was so much noise with the sequels going out in a real political world, with what went down with the whole internet, and with all these terms of cancel culture, woke, and everybody just got so fed up and saw this and that, and so divided because the world wanted to be divided, that the people on Twitter just either chose to extremely love or extremely hate. There was no middle. Anyways, but my unique perspective, I'm going to say it 4 million times, and I don't know what my poster means. And this is not a pun on any movement, but all Star Wars movies matter. That's just what I think. Happy May the 4th. And I'm going to leave this with this. We do have one special birthday today. Somebody who's unfortunately passed on in 1983. She was the star of Breakfast and Tiffany's, and her name is Audrey Hepburn's birthday today. That's not Star Wars related, but that's it's her birthday. Moon River, wider than the mile. I'm crossing in style someday. And now bump, 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 bump. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, that's my video for tonight. Thank you for watching. Happy May the 4th. May the force be with you, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching The World According to Lonza. All right, good night.